time. Start with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dana, would you care to lead us in prayer, please?
Sure. Dear Lord, we thank you so much for the many blessings that you give each and every one of us and that you give this county. We are so grateful for your presence here this morning with us. We ask that you forgive us of our shortcomings and that you assist all of those here today to do the best that they can for the county, and that whatever will be done today will be done as acceptable in your eyes. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Morning, everyone. If you haven't signed in, please do. Thank you, Maddie. Start with the approval of minutes for June the 5th. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes for June 5th?
I make a motion we approve the minutes for June the 5th.
I have a motion by Bob. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Joel. All in favor? Aye. In the matter of claims, we have payroll at $310,274.46. Regular claims $156,107.30, and out of cycle claims $45,414.43, for a total of $511,796.19. Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll approve payroll, regular claims, as well as out-of-cycle claims at $511,796.19.
I have a motion by Joel, and this also is pending on the State Board of Accounts audit for payroll. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Bob. All in favor? Aye. And I will mention, and Sheila brought it to my attention, and I've already also been watching it, our out-of-cycle claims is getting a little bit out of control, so the departments need to try to reel those back in a little bit. If it's an absolute emergency, we can deal with that, but otherwise, we need to try to move those through the normal process. I know not very many departments are here this morning, but hopefully they're listening on YouTube. All right, financial report, Sheila.
Can I go back to the out-of-cycle for a
You
second?
can, yes.
Most of it is because of the credit card issue, or the lack of that we've had. Fortunately, we've been able to obtain 2 more cards, but there's a lot of them that are having conferences and hotel fees, and it's been a struggle because there's been something almost every week for the last 5 or 6 weeks. So those are okay, I understand those. If you don't have a credit card, you don't have a credit card. So it's the ones vendors know we're a county government system, they know there's a process, and those are the ones that I'm having an issue with having to pay little ones here and there. Just that's on that one. Then you have your financial report in front of you. Just the balances are good, both the supplemental WIC and the tax settlement came in. They're in there. Today's current balance is $5,167,717 in the county general fund. But that has to carry them through until December. The same on the others. Most of them look pretty good. We'll know when we start our budgeting process how far that'll carry everybody and the amounts they get in their 2025 budgets.
Thank you for that. Lao timekeeping system. Maddie, you want to weigh in on this? Or I know I talked to Sheila. She was supposed to have ordered the time clocks. I guess that's been done.
I put in the request for a new purchase order form, and then it'll require a signature. So you will approve for you to sign that whenever that comes through. It should honestly be here today. I just spoke to them just a few minutes ago. So
Awesome. We'd like to expedite this process. I know the departments are definitely wanting to get this together. As soon as you can schedule a Zoom meeting here, we'll make it mandatory for department heads to send someone that takes care of timekeeping or payroll in each department. Set that up here where the big screens are operating. So please get that scheduled. We'll get that email out, and I'll do everything I can to help you on the backside to get these people
Yeah, I'm
here.
working with their trainer right now to find a good day to set that up, so.
So I'm going to ask for a motion, gentlemen, so you know, we talked about time clocks, and I had Sheila request 11 time clocks to start with, and so do I hear a motion to approve my signature, one of your signatures on this purchase order, so we can move forward with these time clocks?
The price for those is $17,425.
And we budgeted 21, I think, or approved 21 at the
It's
council.
approved up to 21,000.
Yeah, so we're within that. So do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Got a motion from Joel. Do I hear a second?
Approve.
So
Your signature, okay, well, you're talking about the price there. I second that.
All right. All in favor? Aye. So if you have that,
We'll set it as soon as I get it.
okay. Anything else on that?
Not right now.
Okay. Jail and pending appraisals, we've got one in, we're waiting on another one, so just kind of holding on that. It is moving forward, which is a good thing. Gentlemen have anything, any comments?
I do.
Okay. Code enforcement officer, that's still up in arms with the council. Again, something that desperately needs to be done. I got a complaint from a citizen this morning. All those complaints will be turned over to the council from this point moving forward. Pending ordinances. Danny, you have anything?
Just some that are pending. The grant application process, looking to amend it so that the president of the council, if the due date falls before a time where the council and the commissioners can approve the grant request, then the president of the council and the president of the commissioners could go ahead and approve that so that it could be submitted. And then at each of the meetings, at the next meeting, the council and the commissioners could ratify that had been done. So that's one that we would have. Working on a speed limit for the entire county, working with the highway department to make sure that there is the engineering study that's required by code to be able to set speed limits lower than what the state has. Also working on an amendment to the unsafe building code, building premises code, so that the hearing authority would hopefully be the BZA. They are meeting tomorrow night, and I'll discuss with them whether or not they would accept that responsibility. I doubt that there would be many hearings, and so I don't think it would be a big burden on them, but that was not what they signed up for when they got on the BZA, so I wanted to make sure that they are okay with doing that, and if they are, then we would have a change amendment to that code to reflect that the BZA would be the hearing authority.
I would like to think that those individuals would be interested in doing that for the benefit of the county, and those positions are appointed by commissioners and council, so hopefully they'll support the county's request.
Yeah. I got one question about whether or not the members' personal assets would be at risk, for decisions that they make. And I explained it's no different than any decisions that they make based on appeals of a design variance or something like that, and that the county is there to protect them in that role. So that's not something that hopefully they would need to be concerned about. So I hope that helps with getting them to accept that responsibility. So those are things that are coming down the pike. Hopefully they'll be ready for next meeting.
Okay.
So if that ordinance is ready at the July 3rd meeting, then it can go to the council the 5th. waiting to get it moving forward. We're still, because they went ahead and they were looking at approving it, but we're still back to August. If it's not ready by the July 3rd meeting, for them to look at it, their meeting. So I'm not trying to push you, I'm just saying if this is what we're doing now, if it's not ready in July 3rd, now you're looking at September.
Yeah, we don't want to delay it any longer.
Well, if the BZA declines to accept that, what I will do is I will prepare a new board, an ordinance for a new board that basically is set up just like the BZA is as far as appointments go. And you can put that through. So we'll have something
Okay.
on the 3rd, either way, to satisfy moving the hearing authority.
Yeah, let's continue to move forward. We've kicked that can way too far down the road, so. Okay. Jack, on the grant, you brought that issue up, that it was a problem. That's going to fix that problem.
Thank you for addressing that.
Okay. And with that being said, you're next with the FEMA form.
Okay. There are a couple of forms that need to be submitted to FEMA yet concerning the mitigation grant from the tornado. And I felt reasonably comfortable submitting one on my own. That's this one. The next form really is all about this board being over me as the project manager and making sure, kind of holding my feet to the fire that I do things right. And I didn't think it was right for me to sign that form. So I'm requesting your signature on this document. You have it, Sheila, you need this one.
Yeah, I didn't have that in our packet anywhere either.
There's the form.
Want to take a quick look at it, Dana?
These are the ones that you've sent as attachments in the last.
Yeah,
emails.
I've seen this.
Yeah, I copied Dana on it
Yeah, I've
and talked to
seen
him about it
this.
Monday.
It's fine. So I just have FEMA form.
This should be the final pair of documents that IDHS and FEMA need to finally get this application.
I'll make a motion that we allow Bob, since he's liaison to the EMA department, to sign that document for FEMA.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
You want the original, Sheila, or do you need a copy for the
I'm sure
record?
they want the original, but I'll need a copy.
They'll probably get a fax version, or a scanned version.
As soon as I get
So,
it.
okay. I thought I'd go do that right now, bring it back to you so I don't forget. Let's see if the clerk's office will take care of that for me.
Anything else, Jack?
That's all I got.
Question on this right here.
Okay?
Have we signed a copy of this? It's asking for signatures in the back. Is that something we've already done? This copy was in my basket this morning. I just want to
That-
make sure.
Yeah, I sent that out by email also. Is that a color copy? Is it ready?
It is, yeah. That's where the
Okay.
adjustments were made.
Yeah, it explains what we're changing, and the only reason that I'm updating that policy is because the new Skywarn encoders that were put in and dispatched and the EOC, they changed the whole makeup of how the sirens are activated. So I needed the policy to reflect the technology that we purchased and kind of guide the dispatchers through that process correctly, because the old language is outdated with the new encoders.
Right.
So that's basically the whole deal, and it also removed the sheriff from approval of the weather spotters, because
Center's no longer in there. Yeah.
exactly, once that was moved out of there, the sheriff really doesn't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah, and talking to Sherry, it's important too that we have each department's protocol in that dispatch center so everybody's on the same page and knows what's going on, so.
As you can see, I've revised that a few times. I've always tried to keep that policy updated.
So do we have a signed copy of this revision?
Of
Of
the
this
most
one?
recent?
Yes.
No, the only, where we are in that process is it was vetted by the 911 advisory board, and then it moves on to the commissioners. So I have old copies
Okay.
of, but nothing revised as of 2024. So that's why the July 3rd date is on there, and I'll be seeking your signatures on that after we
Okay.
had a chance to review it.
I just wanted to make sure we didn't need to deal with this morning. We're going to put that onto our meeting on the 3rd.
Yeah, I want to give you
Okay.
guys a little more time to review.
Thank
it.
you.
So the document that Bob just signed, did I get that?
Application organization, EMA.
If you'll just sign it, yeah, I can take care of the rest of it, the date and all that stuff. But yeah, it'll be emergency management. So thank you, Bob. That's all I got. Unless you guys got something for me?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ron.
Good morning.
Glad to see you. Appreciate you guys being here. Come on up.
Bethany, come on up. Great to see all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Sorry, I was wrapped up in what I was doing.
Don't bring a glass and do it, fine print.
Yes, as always, we really appreciate the opportunity to come talk with you. Gary and I had a conversation, we thought it was a good idea since I hadn't been back in the last couple of months, just to give you a brief update where we are with the medical plan. We're going to go through an executive summary, then we're going to talk a little bit about the pre-renewal process and the things we're going to be looking for as far as that is concerned, and get some direction from you all on that. And then Bethany is going to be here to talk about an update on the Proactive MD, which I think is really encouraging, some of the statistics and analytics that she's going to be sharing. So please feel free, again, to stop me along the way if there's any questions at all. But I'm just going to go through this executive summary, high-level information. So this is the period of time from 3/1/2023 to 2/29/2024. So it's a snapshot of any claims that were actually incurred during that period of time, and claims that were actually paid, though, by IU health plans by May 1st, okay? So year to date, so that's not January, it is during this period of time, the amount of premiums that were sent into IU health plans was just north of 800,000. The amount of claims actually paid out was 726,000, and you can see 423 was medical claims, 303,000 was prescriptions. One comment I'll make on the prescriptions. In our benchmarking, and we represent about 250 different small, medium, and large groups our organization does, and we benchmark any groups that are over 50, the percentage of prescriptions, and it's not right or wrong, it's not an ethical issue, it's just a fact. The amount of prescriptions cost this year were significant, and I think one of the things, quite honestly, and objectively, that the clinic will help continued use and promotion of the clinic. And Maddie and Sheila have done a fantastic job, along with our team, to promote it. We'll hopefully be able to take those prescription costs down, because many of the prescriptions that are being used through the health plan could in fact could be done through the clinic, which again takes those costs away from the insurance company, and thus potential future renewal options instead of the clinic, which is already a built-in cost you're paying for that on a monthly basis. So just a comment there, and we can drill down a little further. There were 3 people that had claims of over 50,000. One is a terminated employee, 2 active employees with claims over 50,000. You can see what the prognosis or the diagnosis is on there. One interesting fact, and again, no one wants to get sick, so it's not a judgment here, but the medical per employee per month cost is $280 per employee per month. That's about 28% higher than last year. Again, no rhyme or reason, except it's just a fact. Inpatient facility costs were lower, That's good news. The outpatient facility costs were higher. And somewhere along the line, you want to find a balance there because you don't want people to stay overnight because of that increased cost, not only to the county, but to the family. So that can be good that the increase in outpatient facility costs are higher. 61% higher is, though, fairly significant, to be honest. There's the pharmacy breakdown per member per month, 17% higher. Generic cost, again, the good news is your people are being well educated. They're using generics when they can. Again, though, if they go through proactive, that's going to be a cost shifting that I think will pay dividends long range. You can see what percent higher the brand and the specialty drugs are. And again, I make the note there on the prescription drug is significantly higher than the benchmarking of our other, most of our organizations. If you go to the next page, if you will, there was 1,100 different primary care provider visits, which was lower than last year. I consider that to be a good thing because that means that what Bethany is going to go through to show more and more people are using the clinic, because this does not include what the people in the visits going to the clinic. So it makes sense to me that the visits are down inside the plan, and I think we're going to hear from Bethany the increase in the clinic visits, okay? Let's talk about the renewal process. Just as a reminder, okay, we have had 0 increase for 4 years. So IU Health Plans, 4 years ago, we brought to you a new process they call Healthy Results. And in that, and we have gone out to Anthem, and we always do our due diligence, go out to United Healthcare to see who is the best fit. But for Owen County, it was clear back then, from a premium and benefit standpoint, that IU Health Plan was the best choice, the best strategy. With IU Health Plans, they do something that Anthem and United Healthcare do not offer, and that is a 2-year rate guarantee, assuming you do something called the Healthy Results, which is half of the employees getting blood work drawn so that they can get that independent, objective opinion from the blood work. It's totally confidential. No one in the county knows what the results are, but it gives those people that participate an opportunity to say, hey, where is my AC1 figures, et cetera. And Maddie, again, has always been incredibly helpful as far as getting that organized, and we've really got a lot of good cooperation this year from your employees. So I'm not trying to set you up for anything, but just what potentially we're looking at. 4 years, okay, 2 different rules of 2 years guarantee, and there was no increase after the first 2 years. Now, we can take credit for that, but as I told you 2 years ago, you were at that time really good consumers of the health insurance. So you were doing your part, we were doing our part to advocate for you in the marketplace, and IU Health Plan honored that with a rate hold. So now we roll the tape further. Medical trend is about 10 to 12%. That's just, call it inflation. So for the same cost that you and I go in for the hospital, the doctors with today, it's probably going to be 12%, 10 to 12% higher next year. And that's not right or wrong, it is just a fact. So these are the things that any carrier, Anthem, United Healthcare, IU Health Plans will be certainly taking a look at. You'll see if you go to this page, and it's amazing, these Anthem and United Healthcare and IU Health are all these multi-million-dollar organizations, and they can't give us a report with any bigger font than this, okay? So I apologize, believe me, I need bigger font, but they just don't do it. So, but what I did circle, and there's a lot of numbers on this page, some sort of good news, bad news. If you go to the middle of the page, look where it says claims in the yellow. See, it says premium eligibility and then claims. And if you go over, it's per month of the 12-month period of time that they're looking at. The bad news is you had some tough months in there, 105%, 126%. 89%, 118%, 122%, 93%, 115%. So that is a trend that any insurance carrier is going to say, wow, we are paying out a heck of a lot more than we're bringing in. That's the bad news. The good news is, take a look at the last 3 months. The trend, 64%, 41%, 45%. That's a great trend. And at the end of the day, IU health plans will make a judgment based on not only the last 12 months, the trend, how many are there any new large claims that they need to be prepared for to pay out, but they're going to look at these last 2 or 3 months coming up to give us their renewal process or renewal offer. If based on today, based on my underwriting conversations with IU health plans, and they are fully aware that we are very prepared to go out to Anthem, go out to United Healthcare, I would say they're looking at a 20 to 24% increase for a 2-year rate guarantee period of time. Okay? Ultimately, what we're responsible for, and we've been responsible for the county for the last 25 plus years, and we really appreciate that continued trust and partnership, is to advocate for you to make sure that we present evidence beyond just the numbers, talk about the loyalty, talk about your commitment with the clinic here in town, et cetera, that they look at as a positive, even though the clinic is outside of the health, to come up with the best renewal number. I think the 20 to 24, if the trend comes in, is too high, will be too high. And I'm confident that I can't guarantee, but I'm confident we'll be able to get that number down. But I have to give you a number now from a budgetary standpoint that's realistic. I'd rather come in with good news and true news than news I can't back up with any kind of guarantee. But I love the trend. I love the story that you guys have embraced IU health plans. It's been a great corridor, and typically, not always, but typically IU health plans, because of their discounting within their own physicians, their own hospital, are going to be 10 to 15% lower than Anthem and United Healthcare. Now, that doesn't mean that down the road we wouldn't go out to Anthem and UHC if you'd like us to hold IU health plans accountable, but we've got some time to decide that. I'm also would encourage to allow me to come back, our team to come back maybe every month for the next couple, just to give you that update, even if it's for 2 minutes, to give you any updating conversations we have with the underwriters, et cetera. Okay? Any questions about that?
Well, Ron, you've done exactly what I've asked you to do, and I appreciate that. November, I believe, is our date to
Yep.
re-sign, correct? Budgets are in August. Ask you for a projected number. Again, I'd like to think 20,
Sure.
24% is too high as well.
Sure.
But those are numbers that we're going to work with on a budgetary and hope for less. So I appreciate everything that you've done. One thing that we need to address, and I don't know how, I guess talking to Maddie here, we need to push from the prescription side more your way. And I know we've tried to educate and educate and educate. We send this stuff out by department head. What do we need to do to get it in the hands of each employee? Because our department heads, and I'm not picking on anybody, I don't know that they're getting that information to every employee. And we need to do that to lower this cost. If
Some
you,
of that, I mean, yes, like I can obviously get some more of those flyers out. Open enrollment was a big part of that. I mean, when Bethany goes through that, you'll see how big of a change that was made right after open enrollment, how many more people started going to the clinic. Sometimes people just won't change just because they've been going to their doctor for so
Right.
long and things like that. So there are numbers in there that include those people too, which is okay. But yeah, as far as trying to get those flyers to more employees, we can do that as well.
even if they go to their normal doctor and they get a prescription, it doesn't stop them from coming to you, correct?
Correct. Well, the great thing is, we'll be working with Ron to kind of cross-reference what types of medications are being ran through the plan, and from there, take out the ones that are free and available in the clinic, and use that as promotional material as well. To get that out is something as simple as, don't forget, you can still get free penicillin or amoxicillin at the clinic if you need to. You don't have to run it through your insurance. So maybe, I think, as we're talking through these reports, it sounds like maybe just being specific with those medications. Hey, don't forget you have this this medication is free to you at the clinic. So that would be a huge help to kind of defer and have a cost savings
Right.
from that PBM standpoint.
I
Because
just got to get it in the hands of the employees.
Yeah. I also think it's important for the department heads, and again, we made some great progress thanks to Maddie's work and Bethany's work, and you're going to see that, to let them know that it's not just a convenience or help with expenses now. It will ultimately affect what the county is going to be paying down the road and what the employees are going to be paying for the healthcare. So there is a division there of
Right.
what, like you said, Gary, that it can affect. So I think you're going to see a lot of good progress here. So
The county does an extremely good job, and I don't mean to drag this conversation
Yeah.
out, but this is a huge expense to the county.
Yeah.
We're talking $3 million here
Yeah.
with an increase. We pay 92 or 93% of our employees' health care. And if they want that to continue,
Right.
which is unheard of in today's world,
yes,
they need to do their homework as well.
no question.
And I'm not telling you that, I'm telling,
Yeah.
you know that obviously,
Yeah.
and we appreciate a million times over everything that you guys do for us. So,
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
I got a question. Okay,
Yeah.
on the healthy results thing,
Uh-huh.
it's like pulling teeth. Oh, seriously.
I literally was running around. like,
I know you were.
crazy person.
Yeah.
So-
You even called me and said, Gary, I need people in here, and I sent
Yeah, like, I
some,
mean,
so.
with the, because we're still, IU Health will come with a higher rate, but they will still require the healthy results to do the rate lock. So that's gonna be something that's gonna have to continue again. So,
How about we do a department type thing? We do a courthouse one day, we go to the highway department one day,
I'm pretty sure the healthy results is only a one day.
but maybe we can work something out
Yeah,
here.
I think if we come up, I think we asked last time, can they go to different, and because of their capacity, et cetera, they said they really needed it one location, one day, but maybe if we can get it even to 2 locations to bring it there. That's, it was just one location last time.
Yeah, it was here.
Yeah.
But if we could do that, Ron, that would help tremendously. I know the highway is a problem
Overall,
sometimes.
I think that open enrollment last year was a huge success compared to what I had heard from other people and from them over the last years before that. So I think we had a lot of engagement from the employees, and also, but we still need more, like this, everybody really just needs to understand, like, this is your health insurance, like, this is going to cost you more money if you do not come. So it might be a little inconvenient for that one day out of the year, but we really have to,
Yeah, that's the thing that's aggravating. I'm going to say something's probably not very nice, but if we told all the county employees that we're not going to pay their insurance anymore, they'd be lined up at the door ready to mob us.
Yeah.
But if I tell them that we're trying to save the county money and give them low-cost insurance,
Yeah.
they don't seem to care. And that's very irritating.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Mandy, I think going that, the continuance of the online enrollment, where our team, you and Bethany were here as you signed people up that didn't want to do it themselves.
Yeah.
We made our team available to help them with enrollment. It was a great opportunity for talk to them about the clinic. So
Absolutely.
another advantage of the
Yeah.
online enrollment, wouldn't you say, is that interaction to promote the clinic.
yes, agreed. And making that, like, really, we made it mandatory last year for employees to come and attend open enrollment, even if they didn't want their benefits to change, so that we could promote the clinic,
Yeah,
and we'll do
that's
that
it.
again, and honestly, that's probably something that, I'll work on before the next commissioners meeting, is setting up open enrollment dates with them to see what works for you guys' schedule, for October. And we can bring those dates to the next commissioners meeting, but I think really just making those mandatory every single year for employees to come, even if they don't wanna change their benefits, because the companies do offer different things every year anyways. We have the the disability insurance that the county was paying for, and then the increase in the life insurance, and then obviously we wanted more engagement in the clinic, so making that mandatory this last year was really beneficial, I think, anyways.
And correct, I agree, we'll continue that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bethany?
Yeah, well, thank you, yeah, so, I know I emailed you all the full, 2023 annual report, a couple weeks ago. However, for today, the first page is just high-level executive summary. Overall, engagement was 42%, which national average for any on-site or near-site health center is between 30 and 40. So you're just above average, so that looks really good. And very consistent even to 2022's annual report as well. Chronic condition engagement, that is all of these, diabetes, the hyperlipidemia, which is your high cholesterol, and hypertension is your high blood pressure. Those three chronic conditions, the more we see employees maintained and managed, the more money your plan is going to save. Because this means, your employees are managed, they're controlled, they are making a quarterly follow-up reports with, quarterly follow-up appointments with the provider at the clinic to ensure their medicine is still working for them, and just ensuring that everything, their blood work, et cetera, is still where it needs to be. And then down below, the services by category, again, just kind of broken down. The top three main cost-saving drivers here will be the chronic care management, and of course, the acute, so that would be if you wake up with a sore throat, or if you, it kind of helps defer ER cost. So those acute visits, and also the labs and nursing visits. A lot of the times, as I'm sure you all know, with whenever you go into your doctor's appointment at a hospital system, if a lab is needed, the way it's coded, it's free, right? But what happens when those follow-up appointments come? You're charged, right? So that thing with at the clinic, we are able to, we have 110 different free labs that are free included within every, for every patient. It's never, it's deferred from the insurance plan. So if for example, we do a lot of care coordination with specialists. So let's say I'm an Owen County government employee, I have to go to a cardiologist for said reasons, and my cardiologist gives me a list of labs that I need to have completed before my next appointment. Another educational piece to remind the employees is that if you have those specialists and you have those said labs, bring them to the clinic. Bring them to us, let us be your healthcare quarterback and run through, okay, this first lab is free, the third lab is free. So let us be able to defer those costs, make sure it's free, free and in-house for the employee. And also, again, you're gonna have that care coordination from clinic to that specialist. So it is bi-directional and it's very seamless. And honestly, it just makes the whole process of whatever, scare you're going through a little bit more manageable. Because the healthcare is hard to navigate, as we all know. So it's nice to have someone in your corner to help.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Again, for the services, visits, the higher the number, again, the more costs the plan will be saving each year. I like to pay attention to the services per visit. So for 2023, Owen County government was 3.4. On average, if you go out to a hospital system, you are capped at about 2, maybe 2.5 if you have a provider who is willing to stay a little bit longer with you in those appointment times. But any more than 2 services, typically you are required to schedule a second appointment for those remaining services that you need. But at the clinic, of course, our appointment times are much longer. We're able to see a lot more and care for a lot more, acute items or preventative items, just services at each visit. And then, of course, ROI. I know that's for Owen County government. That's been a positive for the past 3 years. And typically, your first year is really not necessarily on average. So you all being in the positive for an ROI is fantastic. So these services are working for your employees. We are capturing as many services per visit as possible. And of course, in short, about 80% of all insurance claims is primary care. We are your primary care home. Defer all of this to us so that can be helped up deferred from that plan. The net savings in ROI, just a little tab down. Of all of the services captured for 2023, it was $140,894 were kept from going through your plan by us, by Corrective MD, housing this or taking this in-house. And then the chronic savings, the average is just over $31,000. Your program cost was $90,000, so to subtract that, you have a net savings of almost $82,000 for the year of 2023, which is phenomenal. And then you can kind of see the ROI by quarter as well. And then on the back side, this is just kind of high level, the percentage of your engagement, and also the definition of the eligibility here at Owen County Government. So it is for full-time employees only, whether they take the insurance or whether they do not. They have the option to elect into the clinic services. So I think we captured almost all of them last year at open enrollment. So that was a huge increase from years past. And then also another side note, for spouses, eligible dependents are able to be added to the clinic via payroll deduction. So maybe that's something down the line once we get back into open enrollment for, after the IU health plan, if that's something we can be strategic and just kind of look at, what happens if we could offer this to eligible dependents. So that's something that Brown can help work on. Again, just some survey comments. These are the comments that were made by the Owen County government employees about their care team. So in short, they like them. Our services and our care teams, they're a wonderful crew. I'm sure you all have had the pleasure of meeting them. But no, it's a great, it's a great benefit that you offer to the employees. So thank you for doing that, because it's felt.
The employees have nothing but praise to say about it, and that's a good thing. I've not heard one complaint, so, and I will make this comment. Started out a little rough. It has become much better.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I have to echo the care team sentiment too. They're awfully partial.
Will you tell them we appreciate what they're doing?
Yes, sir, I will. And then the last little visual would just be the chronic condition prevalence. And this just kind of breaks down what Owen County government employees are and where they are versus the county and the state. So that's kind of a nice just comparison to see. And yes, I know, like I said, I sent that report a couple weeks ago. If anyone would ever like to dive through and go page by page, please let me know. We'll hop on a call and we'll come back and walk you through it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
And we'll get together maybe next month. Like I say, just kind of keep a once a month tally on where we're at.
July 3rd.
That's just 2 weeks away.
Definitely, as I say, if it'd be 3rd or 17th of July, definitely by August meeting, because budget hearings are the last week of August.
I'll have those numbers for that. Thank you. Taylor Van Hoy. Morning.
Morning.
There's nothing in our packet about what you're here to discuss. so-
Yes, I understand that. I spoke briefly with Sheila and Beth, met them, what was it, maybe a few weeks ago. I am a realtor with Keller Williams Realty, and the idea here is I just wanted to see about getting some engagement and participation, if you guys were up for it, in us creating a little video about Spencer. So to just kind of run through this really quickly, and I can send this email out then afterwards to kind of gloss back over if need be. But we're creating a community highlight video sponsored by Keller Williams Area 812 Business Center to showcase the vibrant businesses and organizations along the State Road 46 corridor. This professionally produced video will feature clips of local businesses like yours or the county here, standing out front of the storefronts holding Keller Williams signs, having fun. And this is 100% free to participate in. Why to participate is just free exposure get featured in a professionally made video, and gain visibility as everyone involved will be sharing it across their social media platforms. Community support, join a project that celebrates and supports local businesses, and then just fun and engaging, showing off businesses' personality and in a lively, memorable way. We're inspired by the success of a similar project from another Keller Williams Business Center, and we are excited to bring this idea to your area. We're aiming to film this between July 15th and the 31st, assuming that I get a lot more thumbs up or green lights from other businesses over here. And so, yeah, and as to just be absolutely clear, this is free. So I will get this email sent over to Sheila or whoever else to kind of have to look back over.
If you send it to her, she'll forward it to the three of us so we can take a look at it.
Okay.
And then we can move forward from there.
Okay.
Are you planning on putting an office in Owen County?
Not currently, no. I mean, as of right now, my mother owns the business center, Keller Williams Area 812. Brick and mortar is in Columbus. I, however, live in Monroe, and I've been looking at moving here to Owen. And so I've been building my personal business over in this area, being in the west, as we're calling it. And I just run the 46 corridor. Now, all our agents are kind of starting to grow from the Area 812 Business Center. So we have agents working over in Decatur. My mother is predominantly based in Bartholomew. I'll do stuff in Brown. She does stuff in Brown. Like I said, I've been building my business in Monroe and recruiting more agents into Keller Williams from Monroe. And I've been looking at, coming here to Owen to just live. So I'm just trying to create a huge video. Well, it'll probably get broken down into 3 videos technically. Owen and Monroe together. So Spencer, Ellettsville, and Bloomington. And then we'll do another one with Nashville and Columbus, and then another one for the East and some other towns that direction. So just kind of highlighting and going through, and for one day we'll be over here with that videographer. And I've got Babs on board, Civilian Breweries on board. I just went to the board meeting for the town of Spencer on Monday, and they've approved it. So some of the folks down there will be participating. It's just kind of waiting to hear back from some others, and wanted to get people here at the courthouse involved.
So what are you wanting the people in the courthouse to do?
More or less just stand out on the lawn, hold some signs, and just kind of like look like you're having fun. I mean, the video will be about 7 seconds long and will be tied in with the other business videos of businesses of people at their at their businesses. So
I see that working for independent businesses. Very good idea. For county government, I'm not sure that that's a good idea to be promoting that on the county courthouse lawn. That's my opinion.
I'm not a county
I feel
employee.
somewhat the same way as promoting a company that doesn't involve the county. It may expand into the county, it may help the county eventually, but I don't think that's appropriate for the county employees to be involved in it.
okay.
Yeah.
The courthouse is a public space, so if you video, that's fine, but I'm a county attorney, I do not think that the county should promote any particular business.
No, that would be showing favoritism.
Yeah.
You're welcome to hit every business in the county.
Sure.
But the county government will not participate.
That's fine. Yeah, I mean, it was just, doesn't hurt to ask, so that's why
Sure.
I was here today. I wanted to see about getting as much participation as possible. Didn't want to have anybody feel left out to the best of my ability. Not like I can get every single business in town, because then I probably would run out of time for that day, and videographer and I might not get around to everybody else outside of Spencer. But yeah, just wanted to see about, presenting the idea, and I can.
And as the attorney said, you can take all the pictures and videos at the courthouse on the outside you want to. It's public space.
Right.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Have
it.
a good day. Let's see, My Path. I don't see anybody here for that, but we do have a special event application. Everybody had a chance to go through this.
Yeah, I got some trouble with them out there on the county road. No sheriff's department, nothing.
That is one question that I had, and I wish they were here to answer that. This is
Say that
some,
again, Bob?
Well, they're gonna run on the Old River Road they'll be out in the road running, and they don't want the sheriff department participation, nothing else. They're gonna take care of responsibility. And it's in blind curves out there.
Yeah, there needs to be
The roads
some
aren't
kind
gonna
of,
stay in one lane, they'll scatter out everywhere,
Yeah.
like a herd of chickens or cats.
so with that being said, and I agree, there's gotta be a safety issue there.
Yeah.
Why don't we, table this until next meeting and see if we can get Kyle to show up?
Yeah. He needs to be here.
Okay,
He needs to answer some questions.
so I'll make a motion to table this until, the July 3rd meeting.
I second it.
Got a motion by myself, second by Bob. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 911. You don't have anything?
I just-
Okay.
my standing
Okay.
appointment would be-
Highway Department, Greg's off this week. Elected officials and department heads.
I just got one thing to say for the highway department. I think Freeman Road is very, very nice out there. Has anybody been out, drove on Freeman Road?
There has been, and I'm sure you've got them, we've had some complaints about the 4-inch drop off. And I've explained to people, once we get all these roads done in the county with community crossings and ARPA funds, we will come back with the road widener. But we can't stop and just do road widening for that road. We have to make sure that we're taking care of the 10 or 12 roads that we're doing all at one time. We rent that machine, so we can't rent it for 2 or 3 days and then turn around and rent it again. So anyway, everybody be patient, we'll get there.
Yep.
Public comment. Yes, sir. How are you, Jeff?
Good, Jeff Marks, Fish Creek Road. I want to start with a couple of things. First of all, I want to publicly thank the commissioners and highway superintendent for reducing the speed limit on Fish Creek Road. You can actually almost drive 35 all the way down the road now. I don't know. It's weird because some people, we had a friend who came out and she drove the whole road at 45 and my wife says, you can't do that. She was just about off the road. And she said, it says 45, so I should go that way. No, that's not how it is. Anyway, so thank you for that. And also thank the commissioner for, the superintendent for the riprap that was put in a pretty dangerous hole on Fish Creek Road, so I thank you also for that. On the other side of the aisle, I'm curious whether in the budget hearings, the superintendent might consider a fund to fix. I have noticed year after year the same holes come back, right? So we don't have enough money to fix all the holes. I get to really fix them. But if there is some opportunity to set aside some money, other than community crossings, to look at, target, and I'm not just talking about Fish Creek, the worst holes in the county, and actually fix 5 of them, right? Put in culverts, do whatever. But don't let that money get away. Actually fix it, and over time, we'll make progress against this challenge. So that's a suggestion.
They try to do a pothole blitz every spring.
Yeah.
And about the time this year we started on that, a couple of these monsoons came in back in April and early May and kind of put that on the side burner.
Yeah.
So when those things happen, there's a highway plan put together every year.
Yeah.
But then based on weather, that goes over here and we're dealing with washed out culverts and gravel roads and so on and so forth. So I know the intent is to try to get back on that once these road projects are done.
And I appreciate everything everybody's doing, so I'm just looking for a way to
Sure.
make some progress against some.
And I think that those funds are there for the pothole situation. Since you brought that up and we're in a public comment situation here, we have been very fortunate the last 5 years with being awarded community crossings. Since I've been here, we've received that every year except for the very first year. We missed one of those prior to me being involved in that. We also have been blessed with about $3.5 million worth of ARPA funds that's went to county roads. Well, unfortunately, that's all going to go away. We're going to go back to a pothole patching community. That is what our funds allow us to do. So fortunately, the state has increased their community crossings by $500,000, which has helped tremendously. Most of that's inflation-related stuff, but I think that they've come a long way out there, and I appreciate your respect for those guys, because
Yeah.
they've done a good job.
They're doing their best.
Yes.
One other item, not related to anything, except you might want to look at your website, the county website. There is something wrong with the certificate.
Been dealing with that for the last week.
Okay.
The state messed up something to do with our number. Because we have in.gov on the end of our website,
Yeah,
the state now controls that.
they say that.
We created that website through our IT, but when we ask to have in.gov on there, it goes to the Indiana Office of Technology. And so we've been working on that very hard.
Sorry if I didn't realize. I just looked this morning for the agenda, so sorry.
Yeah, I have, I've got online and filled out the request, got all the information on there. The next day, the state called me for verification of everything I put on there, got that done, and we're still fighting issues.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
yes, sir.
I'm all well, too. Is it too early to expect any kind of an update on the emergency closing of the Tower Road Bridge?
Well, the highway's not here. I know they went out and took some pictures. United Consulting's been down. I think what we've got, and I understand there's some video, and I haven't seen it yet, we have some dump trucks that's been crossing that bridge, and it's not designed for that.
That is a fact.
And I'll agree with you, because I went out there on that road here a while back coming from the north, and right before I got to the bridge, a dump truck passed me. The only way it could have passed me is cross that bridge. It's a historical bridge. We've got the load limit down on it. So we're trying to figure out if we can tack weld that plate back on there, drop the load limit on it. United Consulting's supposed to be down this week. I have not heard if they have done that yet. I'll follow up on that for you today. But yes, we're trying to get it open back up at a lower limit. But those trucks have got to quit crossing that bridge.
There are videos. I've seen the videos.
Okay? That's what we need.
That's what we were told.
And again, Greg's off this week, so, but no, that bridge needs to be opened back up as soon as possible. We have a campground business right there just south of that, just a little bit. And we also have plans of paving that road from just south of Fiddler up to Indian Hills or just past that. So I'll follow up on that for you.
Very well, thank you.
The last I heard, the decking had come up and it was dangerous.
That is a fact.
Yes. Any other public?
Sorry, this is actually related to the lab thing, and I forgot because I didn't write it down, so sorry about that. But me and Dana, is it okay if we start working on updating the timekeeping policy to reflect the electronic change?
Absolutely.
From paper time sheets, so.
And we've talked about getting that done as well, so as we get closer, we need to have those policies in
Yeah.
place before we actually start swiping
Exactly.
cards.
Exactly.
He'll add that to his 20 other items that he
Yeah, honestly,
has.
I probably should have the contract by the end of the meeting, so if you want to stop by the office on your way out, maybe we can sign the contract if it's in my email when I get down there.
Yeah, we need to get those machines in and set up and get them ready to roll.
Policy can be done by the July 3rd meeting, we can start using it. Council again approved up to 21,000, so if Blau can.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they have to be shipped in, so it'll take a few weeks for that, so.
Well, I think that it's important that the attorney has that ready for us by July the 3rd, so we can
Absolutely.
move forward. But if you don't get anything else done, let's get that done.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
That's mandatory.
Auditor's comments, nothing. Attorney comments.
A couple things, two that just gave to me, young Novak with the Environmental Protection Agency has stopped by and notified the county that the armory sits in the area of the plume of contamination that they are investigating. And they would like to do indoor air quality sampling and sub-slab sampling in that building, basically similar to what they did in the courthouse initially. They would like to, initially, I tried to get them to do the armory when they were doing the courthouse, and they declined. Well, now they're going to do it. So what they need is access to the armory, and they need a signature saying that it's okay for that. So we need a quick vote, and you can sign to allow access to the armory.
I'm going to ask for a motion to approve a signature for the environmental test at the armory. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make that motion, Gary.
I have a motion by Joe. Do I hear a second?
Second. For you to
Second by-
sign it?
Yeah, for me to sign it.
Okay.
That's the amendment to that, Sheila. Have a second by Bob. All in favor? Aye. We will give them Steve Gray's contact information so he can give them access. Right here. Right there. Too many places to sign here.
And this is, sampling is no cost to the county whatsoever. The only thing for the county is again, them coming into the buildings to do the work. And they will share the results.
Right. The basement may be a little scary.
Okay, and secondly, I went to the 911 advisory board meeting, and they believe that there is some ambiguity in the code for the advisory board. So I thought I'd just kind of explain the advisory board. It may take a few minutes, but the membership of the advisory board includes the county sheriff, and they can designate someone to go in their place. And that designation has to be in writing. But so the sheriff or designee, director of EMS or designee, director of EMA or designee, the fire chief of the county fire association or designee, and the chief of police of the Spencer Police Department. They are to meet not less than quarterly. They must keep minutes, and after meetings, the minutes have to be sent to the auditor and to the Board of Commissioners. They are to elect officers. Right now, they do have a president and vice president, but they do not have a secretary, and they are working on that. Operating procedures. All of the emergency services departments in the county, so the sheriff, Spencer Police, all fire departments and such have to provide to the executive director and the advisory board a list of their department's operating procedures. And if there's any changes, they're supposed to let the executive director know right away. And then the advisory board, they shall adopt uniform and standardized operating procedures for the dispatch center. They do not establish operating procedures for the individual police and fire departments, as they don't have any authority to do that. Policies and procedures. The advisory board shall have the responsibility of establishing written policies, procedures, and protocols for the 911 dispatch center, including but not limited to long-range planning, training, personnel standards, dispatching standards, and protocols, and any other matter concerning the efficient operation of the 911 center. The advisory board shall assist the executive director in preparing the annual budget for the 911 dispatch center. That budget would have to be approved by the commissioners prior to being submitted to the council. They would also work on the executive director's job description, and when in hiring an executive director, they would vet applicants and make a recommendation to the board, but the board could accept it or reject it or do their own interviews or whatever. So the ambiguity comes with in the responsibility in any other matter concerning the efficient operation of the 911 center. Well, in Code Interpretation Law 101, when you have something like that that says "and other things," it's other things that are consistent with what the list is. And the list is about operating procedures and protocols. The whole purpose of the 911 Advisory Board is to take all these different policies and procedures, standard operating procedures that all the different fire and police departments have, and create protocols for the 911 dispatch center to address that. So what it's trying to do is to keep everybody on the same page, so that if a 911 call comes in, the appropriate reaction will happen. And so that is the whole purpose. That's what the list is, so that any other matter would be along the lines of procedures, standard operating procedures and protocols and such. So there was questions whether that concerning the efficient operation 911 center, the tower radio project. That is a purchase and a contract for services that is under the purview of the Board of Commissioners upon recommendations of the 911 director. That wouldn't include the advisory board because that's not policies and procedures that they're doing. It's their role is operational, not in staffing as far as how much should they get paid or things like that. That has nothing to do with what their role is. So what I would propose to the commissioners, if that is the intent of the commissioners, because the commissioners created the 911 Advisory Board back in 2019. So this is a board created by the commissioners. If the commissioners want them to be involved in purchasing and things like that, we can add it to the list. If not, if you want to keep them in their role of just trying to make sure that all emergency services work together, then I could amend this code to say any other matters efficient that deal with operating procedures, and therefore limit, make sure that it's understood that that is what their role is. So that's the way I interpret it. So I wanted to bring it to you to see how you interpret. Do you interpret in any other matters concerning efficient operation to include purchasing and contracting? Does it include software and hardware choices and things like that? Or is it the global responsibility of operating procedures?
It was my understanding in 2019, when Jim Bryant put that together, that it was the operational procedures, was my understanding. I guess I'm going to ask Sherry, do you have protocol for each one of these departments for your dispatchers to operate with?
Standard operating procedures, there was a few, but they didn't come from each specific public safety department. I believe that Kathleen worked with the board and they came up with a set of standard operating procedures for dispatch, but I haven't seen the sheriff's standard operating procedures or EMS, so.
So we need to get that done.
Yes, so anything pertaining to the way they would like the dispatchers to handle calls, I need to see.
Sure. And you're dealing with a lot of inexperienced people right now because the whole place fell apart and you're trying to put it back together. if we don't keep it to where it's just operational, there's no need for the position, because at that point, the advisory board's running the department, not the department head. That's my opinion.
No, it makes logical sense. That just from an operational standpoint,
So I guess we need to make a motion to make those.
Well, I'll just,
You just-
if that's the consensus of the board, I will prepare an amendment to make sure that the ambiguity is gone out
Okay.
of that. And I'll bring that to the next meeting.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Lowell, any comments, concerns?
no.
Mr. Curry?
Nothing right now. Everybody stay cool. It's gonna be hot.
I believe I will state, I believe the highway department has ceased paving in this temperature for those folks wondering why or if it's happening. It's not. Do cold patching, it was gonna require two separate processes beyond the normal to do it appropriately. So they've suspended paving until we can get this temperature a little under control.
Yeah, that product is extremely soft, and when you put it out in this kind of heat, you cannot do much with it, so.
It was gonna require 2 extra steps and just inflate the cost of doing it, so we're gonna hold off on that. I believe there was talk that maybe calcium chloride will be spread soon.
Yes.
On roads, we're gonna use it instead of an emulsion this year. I know they're working feverishly to get that going for those concerned with dust control. If you do have health issues, I would encourage you to contact the highway department. And if you're on a list, you should still be on the list. If you're not on the list and you have health concerns, make the appropriate phone calls to the health department. And I believe Greg keeps a list currently of people that stay on that list. So.
That is correct. And something else to add to that, Joel, they just about have that spray apparatus up and operational.
That was my understanding as of first of the week from the highway department, and so we're just kind of waiting to roll that out, so.
And so the taxpayers know too, with the dust control, and I had another call from Ray Cemetery Road the other day, assured the lady we'd be out there. We can hopefully expand this just a little bit outside the medical concern. We have had about 3 or 4 different tire companies donate calcium chloride to Owen County that they have pumped out of tractor tires, so on and so forth. So we're gathering that up from different companies. There's one in Clay County, a couple in Monroe County that's donating that at no cost. We're just going to go pick it up, and that is a very good dust control. Also helps with compaction of gravel roads. So.
Now, keep in mind, in the process, folks, it's something they just can't spray on. If it's really dry like today, it requires a wet coat first. In other words, they're gonna have to wet the road first, dampen it, and then apply the product. And that's no different than using the emulsion we've used in the past. So, keep that in mind too. We would like to see a couple showers and then put it on. This is a better way than the emulsion. We've all researched it and believe in it, so hopefully this is gonna.
And for a year or two, it's going to be free. So, big plus.
Until we use everybody's calcium chloride
Yeah.
out.
They've switched over to the farm industry to methanol or beet juice, so the calcium chloride's kind of going away. We can still buy that Dow flake and mix our own in-house, and we will moving forward. It's a lot cheaper than putting down the oils that we've done in the past. So, I have nothing. If there's nothing else,
I make a motion to adjourn.
got a motion from Bob to adjourn. I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day.